Welcome to a special edition of the Boat Dealer Profits podcast. I'm your host, Matt Sellhorst, founder and creator of Boat Dealer Profits and the Splash System, where we're committed to helping family-owned boat dealerships sell more boats, make more money, and have more fun. So this is a special episode because I recorded this special report for another reason, and it's called How to Finish Up the Season Strong. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and play this recording for you. It's a special report that I did, and I think you're going to get a lot of value out of it, especially here as we roll into August very soon. Hey, welcome to the special report, How to Finish Up Your Season Strong. I wanted to put this together as the season starts winding down in North America. We are at the tail end of July as I record this. I have been down at our family's lake place at the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri, doing some boating with my family, doing a little bit of mystery shopping in the area, and really just enjoying the boating lifestyle. And you can get the sense as I was doing the mystery shopping, some of the emails that I've been getting from my previous mystery shopping, you're getting the sense that the season's winding down, and you're starting to see a lot of price discounting messages. Curtailment payments, interest payments have been kicking in, or you can see them on the horizon depending on how your financing is set up. You're managing inventory levels. A lot of my dealers, their inventory levels are at a great spot. They're real happy about them. Some other dealers that I've spoken with are, they feel like they're heavy. They feel like they're a little heavier than they should be right now. And I've had several of them join the Splash System and decide to work with me, make the investment so they could finish this season strong and also be in a position to start next season strong and not be in this position again. So what I thought I would do is just give a couple of thoughts for you on, hey, these are some things that there's still time to do. We may be having inventory. We may be, there may be certain models or certain a certain manufacturer that we haven't been as successful as we had hoped. Maybe we took on a new line and those didn't move as quick because we didn't have the brand recognition in the area. And, we had an uphill battle in the sales that we had to find out some strategies, which is another one of my dealers was in that situation. Is a new manufacturer they picked up, they weren't moving them. So we came up with some ideas to, okay, what's the unique selling proposition? What's the unique selling point for that model, for that manufacturer? How can we best demonstrate it? Okay, let's do this strategy and let's put some of our marketing spend there, instead of putting the marketing spend to print ads, which, hey, it's great. We can see it. I know I spent $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on this print ad. I see the magazine, but I don't have any idea if it worked at all or not. So that's what I want to go over with you here today. So the number one thing I can share with you at this point in the season is most of the additional sales that you're going to get have already interacted with your dealership, whether they attended a boat show, whether they have walked into your showroom, whether they have visited your website or looked at your inventory on any of the online listing services. But it's likely that some way or another that they've interacted with your dealership. So what does that mean to you? Well, that means that your focus should not be on what can we do to attract new people. Your focus needs to be on what can we do to re-engage those people that have previously engaged with us. Now, there's a number of strategies, and the media is the one that is the least important. And what I mean by media, if you've gone through the Splash program, we talk a lot about media. Media is just the mechanism that delivers your message. So the media could be direct mail. The media could be picking up the phone and calling, email, text messages, email blast. It could be something on your website. It could be a Facebook post or an Instagram post. The media is the least important. One of the most important pieces is the message. What are you going to go out and say to these people to get them re-engaged? Now, the most common message that I see out there is save big, best time to buy, lowest prices of the season. Now, this time of year, that can be somewhat effective, but what it also does is it re-engages people with the only thought in their head of how can I get this unit for the lowest possible price? So it brings them in that negotiating mindset. So if you're sitting here in early August, you don't necessarily, depending on exactly where you are, but you don't necessarily have to just drop everything and cut this to the skinniest deal that you would accept all season long. You may want to, but you give yourself and your salespeople a better opportunity to actually sell, build value, and sell a boat at a reasonable margin when you bring them in with a different message. And that different message that we found to be highly effective is just to ask them, are you still thinking about a boat? Are you still considering? And what you do with that very simple line is you do a couple of things. The first thing you say is, I know that you've thought about it in the past. You're in our database. We have your phone number or your email address, or you've been to our website and we've dropped that retargeting pixel, which is more complicated than we're gonna get into on this special report. But when you re-engage them with that messaging, you've taken this is the best time to buy price out of it, and you're just asking, are you still thinking about it? And guess what? If they're thinking about it, if the price is right, if they're thinking about it and they're going to respond to that lowest price of the year message, they're likely going to respond with a positive response to the are you still thinking about a new boat message. And now when you get them in, now as the salesperson, they have the opportunity to engage that prospect in a way that is going to take them down the value building process. So you take them through, hey, you're considering one? Excellent. Why don't we come in? We've got an event coming up. Still not a price message. Why don't you come in? We're having an event at the dealership. Still not a price message. Hey, why don't you come in? We've got a boat that may be perfect for you. We've got 2019s coming in. Maybe you get them in with a new product, and if you need to sell old aged inventory, then you move them into the boat that's right for them. That's more of an aged unit if that's important to move it, depending on your inventory levels. But when you start the conversation in that manner, you give your salesperson an opportunity to be persuasive, to use their salesmanship, to use their skills to build the value and push that person forward. Now, it is August, it is end of July, early August. So you can go to, hey, you've got somebody that's interested. Now do what you have to do to sell that boat. And this is the time of year that, if you need to discount, to get the unit moved and to get it out the door to make room for the 19s, absolutely do it. But you don't want to. The difference is you don't want that to be your leading message, and then you've got nowhere else to go, because once you say it's the best time to buy because it's the lowest prices of the year, you've already put the price thought in their head. And now that price thought's in their head, that's the only thing they're thinking about. They don't care what value you build. They don't care anything about, I can negotiate like crazy and I can get the lowest price possible. Okay? So that's number one, is you've likely already engaged with them. Number two is you want to go back and you want to look at what type of communication have we done with our prospects this season. So you want to ask yourself a question. If we generated a lead in February, how many times have we engaged with that lead? How many times has our salesperson reached out and made a phone call? How many times have they emailed or text messaged? How many times have they gotten an email blast from you, and what did that consist of? Was it just promotional offers, or was there any relationship building? Did you offer up your inventory, a selection of your inventory via different methods? Did you do any direct mail to them? What communication have they received? Now, from my mystery shopping, my team and I have done a lot of research on this, and we've found that about 80% of dealers, after the first lead that comes in, and most of these are online, some of them are boat show and face-to-face, but most of them are an online lead, 80% of them only try two attempts. One email and a second email, and then they're done. So if you look back and just pull a handful of your leads, pull maybe 10 of your leads from your boat show season, or February, March, somewhere in that time frame where you've had 5-6 months to follow up with them, And you want to look and you want to see, okay, how many times did we attempt to contact them? And if the answer is only a handful, well, here's what we know from the work that we've done with our dealers that are in the Splash system is the prospects that we're selling to in our marketplace in the boating world. These are more affluent people. A boat is not a necessity. So these people have disposable income, and I don't care whether you're selling a $150,000 towboat or whether you're selling a $25,000 aluminum fishing boat. These people are busy. They're successful. They have lives going on. The kids have soccer. The girls are in dance. They've got work, and they're traveling for work a lot of times, and they've got doctor's appointments, and they've got baseball, and they've got travel teams, and they have all of these different things going on, and they're qualified. They have the financial resources. They are interested. They would like to own a boat. They are ready to own a boat. If the right opportunity came along, they would buy a boat. If they met up with the right salesperson with the right message, they would buy a boat. But they've just gotten so busy that they kind of forgot about it. And I've had this happen time and time again. We've used some of the re-engagement strategies, and some of the salespeople that I train are just astounded that these people want to buy, in this particular dealer that I'm thinking of, they want to buy a $165,000 boat. And the salesperson is astounded that when they get them to an event, that they say, man, we've been meaning to get by here. We've been meaning to get by the dealership to look at this. We're almost certain this is the boat we want, but we've just been so busy that we haven't done it. Now, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting that somebody that is capable, willing, and ready to buy a $165,000 boat has not done it because they've been too busy? Now, what do we as salesperson say to ourselves? Well, we don't want to be rude. We don't want to be aggressive. We don't want to follow up too much. We don't want to send too many emails. We don't want to make too many phone calls. And the reality is, with that mentality, you're missing opportunities. So the second thing to re-engage those old leads and to really to make something out of the season and to finish up strong is to give your prospects a reason to come into the dealership. And what we found is by doing an event, and now when I say an event, we do it, my Splash dealers do it way different than virtually any other dealer out there. Do an event to get people into the dealership, because an event is something that has a start time and an end time. And those people that are too busy to come in when it's convenient for them, when they're ready to buy, well, they have too many things going on. But when you invite them to a special event done the right way with the right messaging, guess what? They say, oh, that event is this weekend. We need to put that on the calendar. We got to put that on the calendar because we wanted to buy that boat. So that event would be a great time. And now they show up to the event because you have a communication strategy that is very persistent and very friendly and not over the top salesy, but relationship building, personal. And you're using several different media. You're using phone calls, you're using text message, you're using email, you're using video, you're using your website, you're using social media. You may be, depending on what level your inventory sits this time of year, you may even be putting some ad spend on social media and running to people that you've engaged with in the past. You may, depending on what level of inventory you have, you may use it to cold traffic to new people that haven't engaged with you yet. The scenarios are going to be different depending on where your inventory level is sitting, where you are in the country, how the year's been going so far. All of those different things are going to come into play. But that event can be very powerful. Now, the first thing that happens when I say event to people is they rush out in their mind and they say, oh, we're going to do an event. So we've got to go get a caterer, and we've got to get a band, and we've got to get somebody to do a fishing seminar, and we've got to get a pro wakeboarder and a pro surfer to come and attend and sign autographs, and we have to get the radio station involved, and we have to do all of this stuff, and it's got to be this big, huge rigmarole. You can do that, and that can be successful, but you can also do it in a way that's very systematic, that's very inexpensive, and highly efficient and highly effective. So one dealer in particular that has really taken to this has done these events on a very consistent basis. They followed a very systematic formula because, one, they've hired us to do it for them. So we handle the communication. I told them exactly how to do the event, and that's exactly how they do it. And what happens is every month they've got opportunity with people that they've been communicating with, and they're re-engaging. And it worked in November when it was cold out last year, and it worked in July when they done their last one in July. And guess what? They've got one coming up in August that's going to be successful as well. How do I know this? Well, because I've had enough clients use this system that we developed, and we've tested it, and it's worked from people that are selling, $20,000 boats to people that are selling $200,000 boats and everywhere in between. So that would be the second strategy. And then the third strategy. This is where I'm going to end, is the third strategy, because this is the simplest and it's the easiest one to implement. And that is get on the telephone and get your people to reach out to your prospects. Everybody that they've met in the last 2 or 3 years, just give them a phone call. Use the telephone as a prospecting tool to get rid of aged inventory, to move those last handful of units that are sitting out there that if you move them and you sell them at a good margin, you're going to be high-fiving and you're going to have a great end to the season. If they sit there and you still have them in September and October, you're going to be saying, oh my God, we are going to be struggling with cash flow through the end of the season. And it's just, I brought on a dealer a couple weeks ago that said, it's only a matter of 5 boats. If we sell 5 boats, then it's going to be a great season. If we're still holding those 5 boats as the season winds down, it's going to be a rough summer or a rough winter. So the strategy there is get on the phone. Have a couple nights a week where you're dialing for dollars and you're using a very simple message out to them. Are you still thinking about buying a boat? To your service customers and your people that have a boat, would you consider trading if the right opportunity came along? And you use this very simple messaging that's not, hey, it's August and we are blowing the doors off pricing. This is the great time to get the boat because they've never been cheaper. We can give you, full value for your trade and we can discount ours to the bone. Well, what's going to happen? Yeah, you may get a lot of activity. But are you going to move a lot of boats? In my experience, not really, because everybody's going to come in with price, and the only way you're going to sell a unit and you're going to bring in a trade specifically is you have got to make those numbers you got to be so skinny on that deal that, you almost would rather not move the boat. You're gonna hate that prospect, or you're gonna hate that customer. You're gonna be, every time you see that boat in the service department, you're gonna be, man, why are we're charging this guy full boat on everything because he got us down to such a low price. And in reality, it's not his fault. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing as the buyer. He's supposed to be negotiating. You're the one that did the wrong messaging. You brought them in with the wrong messaging with low price, low price, low price, low price. Of course they beat you down to the bone. Of course they didn't agree to buy it at the price you asked, because every message that they received leading up to that was price based. And then you try to build a little bit of value, but knowing salespeople as I do, once they start down that price track, it's really hard to jump off and to start building value. You can build it, but their mind is so focused on price. It's like if I say, hey, don't think of a pink elephant. Don't think of a pink elephant. What's your mind instantly do? You start thinking of a pink elephant. I did this with my daughter last night. Had been swimming in the lake. We'd been riding Big Mabel and out on the water all day. We're laying, my 4-year-old is fighting sleep. She doesn't want to go to sleep. I'm laying down snuggling with her. And I say, Emery, don't shut your eyes. What happens? Instantly she shuts her eyes. I say, Emery, don't fall asleep. She instantly falls asleep. And 2 seconds later, I'm getting up and finishing up talking to my folks and my wife and just enjoying the rest of the night. And she's racked out cold. Otherwise, had I not done that, she would have just been fighting it. But as soon as you say, hey, think of this or don't think of this, that's where their mind goes. Hey, we got the lowest prices. Oh, this must be the time of year to negotiate. And there goes your margins. And if they don't feel they got a good enough discount, because remember, most of the people that are going to buy from you have already engaged with you. So they likely have a idea of what the price of that boat is. So if you're selling a boat that is one of those nationally advertised prices, or you've already shown your 22% margin or 25% margin or 18% margin, wherever you're at, you've already shown that price. Well, they're going to want thousands and thousands off. And now, now you're down to 15%, maybe 10%. Maybe you want to let it go at that. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't even have that much room. And in their mind, $500 is nothing. That's not this big, huge price savings that you talked about. So they're out and they disengage. Whereas if you bring them in with another message and you only pull out the price when it's appropriate, further down the process, only pull out the, hey, we're gonna make this deal work one way or another. Further down in the process, you've been able to build the value, you've been able to get those messages through, and now you have a better likelihood of closing that customer, even though you may need to discount to make it happen this time of year, depending on where you are in the country. So those are just our 3 thoughts I wanted to share because, hey, you still have time. You still have time to finish up strong. Those 3 ideas should help you out considerably. The other thing that will help you out is, like I said, we brought on 3 additional clients in the last couple of weeks, which is, this time of year is not typically the time we're bringing on folks. But if you've got that high level of inventory, if those curtailment payments and interest payments are killing you already, reach out and I can give you the specifics and we can go into, hey, this is exactly what you need to do to sell a boat in the next couple of weeks. And we can get some other things structured as well, do a little bit more complicated things together that is hard to do just with a short recording. So there you go. I hope you are killing it this year. If you're a little slow, if you're a little off pace, reach out. boatdealerprofits.com/success. You can set up a strategy call. I'll tell you a little bit more about what's going on. Just send me an email, matt@boatdealerprofits.com. We'll get it scheduled with Christy. Will reach out and get a call scheduled. If you're having a killer year, if you're having a great year and you want to make sure that 2019 is even better, you want to, hey, should we bump up our orders as you start making your orders and going to dealer meetings over the next several months? Maybe the splash system, something you want to think about there. I can promise you that if we decide to bring you on as a client, you are going to have outstanding results because we don't bring on everyone. And we do that for a specific reason, because I want to make sure if we bring on a client that we're going to work well together, that you're going to engage and you're going to implement what needs to be implemented so that at the end of the season, you are ecstatic with the results. You're high-fiving saying, this Matt Sellhorst, this Boat Dealer Profits, this splash system is killer. And one of the best decisions, if not the best decision that we've made this season. So there you go. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you listening to this special report. Reach out if you are interested. We've got some additional exciting announcements coming out in the near future, so be on the lookout for those as well as we roll into August. Thanks a lot, and we will talk to you very soon. Make it a great day.